All right, welcome to another edition of Real Estate 101. We've got a great show today. We got two guests. We have Colleen Bazinski and Kimberly Neal. Ladies, how are you today?
Great. How are you, Todd?
Doing wonderful, and love the pink boas. Never had pink boas here on the show, so
Well, you
guys
haven't
are-
had us on the show, Todd.
Kind of our
yeah, you guys are
right?
dialing it up. Let me tell you, we're going up a notch with you guys. But anyway, we're going to talk about real estate today. Exciting. The three of us are in the biz, and people who are listening and watching want to hear what's going on. So before we do that, why don't we get a little background on both of you, a little bit of your bios. Colleen, tell us a little bit about you, your past, your history, your career, and then we'll move over to Kim. How's that?
Okay, sounds
good.
great.
Yeah.
This is my 25th year in real estate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still got your
Happy-
sanity?
What
You
was
still have
that?
your sanity?
Some days I don't. So 25 years, I've been a licensed broker, managing broker, salesperson back in the day when we had those licenses. Licensed in 3 states currently, have been 4. I had California, Illinois, Indiana, and Florida. And now it's just Illinois, Indiana, and Florida. I've been a broker owner, owned multiple franchise offices, national real estate coach, trainer, and presenter. And now I work with buyers and sellers and running our group here. And I'm lucky enough to have this lovely lady helping me.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, cool. That's quite a bit of history in real estate. You've been doing it for a while.
Pretty
So.
extensive.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's way more to
Portfolio.
it than that. I mean, lots of ups and downs. I could tell you that. That's for sure.
Oh
But-
yeah. Oh yeah. I think we've all seen that.
Mhm.
That's for sure. That's part of the gig. Kim, how about you? We've known each other a while. Give us a little
We
bit about-
have, Todd, and it's good to see you again.
Likewise.
So
Likewise.
I've been licensed since 2012, so 13, 14 years. I'm licensed in the state of Florida and Illinois, obviously. I'm a broker. I don't know. I work here at the Forward Group with Colleen, and
Founding partner.
yeah, founding partner. And that's really about it. Like I'm still in the. I feel like I'm still in the grind.
Yeah. Making deals happen. You're buying
Absolutely.
and selling, helping people move in and out, up and down, whatever it takes, you can make it happen.
Well, I think that's really important though, because there's so many people out there that are like, oh, I'm an expert this, expert at that, and they're not in the trenches, and you're in the
And
trenches every day.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, you know,
Um,
it's funny even on the lending side, people move up and somebody might be running a mortgage group, maybe in my role, and they stop doing deals. And guess what? They get removed from reality. And no matter where you go in your career, I think in the real estate biz, you got to always be doing deals because things keep changing
Oh,
and
yeah,
you got to keep your thumb on the pulse, right? And know what's going on. So
for sure.
let's talk about the market. We're starting September, the unofficial start to fall, the day after Labor Day. First of all, thanks for being here right after the holiday. What are you guys seeing going on right now? Let's talk about Chicagoland first, and then we'll move on to Florida. But that's a whole nother story, I know. But let's
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Chicago. What are you guys seeing right now?
I don't know. You know what? I feel like the market, and this has been over the past couple of years. I feel like October tanks just a bit, just goes down a little bit, and then September seems to pick up. And I think if you keep that momentum, it'll carry you through the winter. But I'm busy again.
Well, I think as an agent, you can be busy all year, no matter what. Like, there's always people that need to buy or sell, right? Like people,
Sure.
life happens, babies are born, divorce, death,
Job
all the
transfers,
things, job
yeah.
transfers, all the things always happen. But in terms of the market as a rule or whatever, 25 years, we've seen usually seasonality, which is what Kim said.
Sure.
Like usually it'll slow down in the fall. I think when that changed for us significantly was post-COVID, or when COVID started, 2020, all of a sudden the market just became this unruly beast that we never saw a lull, and it just kept going and going and going. And I would say that was significantly consistent until last October.
I agree.
Last September, October.
Yeah.
And I would say that initially I was like, okay, are we finally seeing that slow down of like the seasonality again when things come and go? And not to say that we can't sell properties those other times. We can. It's just we have to employ different resources and different strategies and really put our best marketing foot out there. I initially thought it was due to the election, right? Because, you know, we had a pretty crazy election cycle happening last year with, you know, candidates coming in and out and just a lot of craziness, right? Like no matter what side of the fence you fall on politically, it was a very stressful time for everybody. And so I initially thought, okay, is this the market changing? Finally slowing down into where we're going to see a little bit of seasonality, or is this due to the election? And then January, February, we picked right back up again. So I'm like, oh, usually our spring markets like February, March, April, end of February, March, April, right? So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was election based and not seasonality based. But now I'm seeing a little bit of a slowdown happening.
For sure.
In terms of seasonality.
For sure.
And also, I would say it's very neighborhood specific and it's very property specific. And what I mean by that, and you can attest to this, if the property's a piece of junk, it's starting to sit. If it's one of these ones that's got, whether it's a real remodel or an HGTV remodel, you know, where they just give it a facelift.
Sure.
The buyers that are out there that are paying 6-7% interest, they want it to look like how they want it to look when they walk in the door. And, you know, that's what I'm seeing. Now, obviously, neither one of us have a crystal ball, but there you go.
Right. Yeah. A little more inventory I heard is on the market, more listings. Are they up?
A little bit, but again,
I think there's a little more, for my buyers anyway, I feel like there's a little more to choose from than there was, say, 2 years ago.
But still, like Kim, anybody that you have that's looking for something specific, we're still seeing multiple offers.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
I always tell my buyer, if the house is presentable, if it's nice, if it's priced right, we're seeing multiple offers still. I feel like the ones that are overpriced, well, and with anything, if they're overpriced, if they're not up to par, people aren't buying them anymore like they were 2 years ago.
I think sellers are having a hard time deciphering between what's priced right and what's overpriced because they're looking at straight across the board neighborhood comps, and condition is so much more important now than I think it was ever.
Now, for sure.
Yeah.
And mortgage rates have stabilized a little bit. You mentioned the election that, you know, that created a little turmoil. And then the tariff talk really sent the bond market into orbit. But here we are in September 2nd, and for the last couple of weeks, we've stabilized right around 6.375 for a 30-year fixed.
Yeah.
When you look at the history of mortgage rates, that's a good rate. It's not the 3% during COVID, but it's a great rate. We're not having the ups and downs in the bond market like we saw since the election. So, you know, if there's a little more inventory and rates have stabilized, maybe we're going to get back to a little bit of a better, more normal market when it comes to buying and selling in real estate. I mean, Chicago real estate's always going to be in demand based on jobs and the market that we live and work in. But I know, like you said, anything decent that went on the market, when we'd have a client pre-approved, they're fighting with 8 other people with offers within the first 48 hours. That's not normal. And, you know, hopefully we've, you know, starting to see a little bit of a stabilization and have it normalized.
Rough.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you. But we're still seeing that. So I've got a few buyers right now that, you know, they were getting outbid because, you know, I can't in good conscience tell my client to just go,
you bet,
excuse my language, balls out on a property bid if I don't feel like it's going to be a good long-term decision or even an interim term decision, because you don't know how long they're going to stay there, right? Like, or they don't know how long they're going to stay there.
Sure.
They may think they're going to be there for 20 years, but if, you know, things happen, life happens. And I just a little more cautious, I think, with that. And I want to go back to something that you said, Todd, because it really resonated with me when you're talking about kind of like where rates are and the stability of it. The challenge is that prices though have escalated and inflated to such a point that, and I don't believe that necessarily salaries have inflated to the same degree that everything else has inflated. So buyers are just a little more cautious in what they're willing to do, at least the ones that are good, solid buyers. You know, there's some people that are desperate to be in a property and they're like, hey, yeah, whatever bid, I need a house. I don't want to pay rent anymore. I want to do this, or my landlord's selling my house. And, you know, that's a different situation. I think that the motivation factor plays into it as well. And there goes the train.
Sure.
Right. And like you alluded to earlier, there's a thing called life. I've had kids. I'm upsizing, downsizing, divorce. Those things are going to create deals no matter what the rates are. But I will say this, watching it every day, we are like in the, I don't know if you read this, but we're in the best position we've been this year when it comes to interest rates. Here we are on September 2nd. So that's good news. I agree. Prices of houses have just skyrocketed and incomes have not kept up with that. So, you know, if we can just have a little bit of things calming down, I think we could see some really bright days ahead when it comes to real estate. On the flip, I'm sorry.
I think you're right. I was just going to say, I think you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah. Let's go to the flip side. As a national lender, I kind of lend in all 50 states, and I know you guys are doing business down in Florida. We've seen a big change in Florida. We have a lot of clients that buy a second home down in Florida and I've enjoyed doing those deals, but with the cost of insurance and HOA dues, we've seen a change down in Florida, and Chicago is one of the top destinations for people buying down in Florida. Why don't you guys give our listeners a little update on what's going on down in Florida when it comes to real estate?
I think for sure the market has definitely changed down in Florida. I mean, 2 years ago, you couldn't find a place down there. Maybe, you know, I mean, you want to talk about overinflated and low inventory. That was definitely Florida. Now I feel like, I mean, what I was reading something that one of the Florida boards sent, and they said Cape Coral, which was one of the hottest areas during COVID, you know, 2021 into 22, is one of the worst places to be right now if you're selling. And I own a home in the Tampa area, and they seem to be leveling. They're not going down, but they're leveling. I feel like Southwest Florida, Naples, and you know, just from what I see, Naples, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, I feel like they've all dropped a little bit.
So yeah, I would agree with you. And I will just add to that, you know, when the rest of the country saw prices surging 2020 on and inventory shrinking, Florida was already experiencing that for about 5 to 10 years before that. It was just growing so rapidly, and it was attracting so many people that I think that like that surge, every up has a down, right? Like, and it doesn't mean it's a down like in the toilet down. It means that, you know, it's a stabilization or a levelization. And I just feel that we're seeing that now there. On the flip side, though, I've had clients. So I just had a client that picked up a great property in Fort Myers for his daughter.
That was a good deal.
Price. Yeah. You know, she's going to college down there rather than renting a place or living in the dorms. She's got a great place, and he got a good deal on it. Now the seller still made money. She didn't lose money, but our buyer got a great deal on a place that's an investment. And if they hold on to it long term, it'll be fine. It's not like so I think there's some good opportunities out there for buyers right now, whether they're looking for a second home or they're looking for an investment type property or whatever. People still vacation there. There's still good Airbnb opportunities. I do think you have to be cautious about watching for HOAs and insurance issues.
And how close you are to the water. You bet.
Yeah.
But taking all those into consideration, there's still some really great opportunities, but sellers are just going to have to be more realistic. You know, think back to history, all of history, right? Like, what was the average appreciation rate over the last 50 years? And we've come to expect way more than that as the last few years have
Right.
really spoiled us. And I will just say that, moderate appreciation. If you bought a home, a few years ago, it used to be you have to stay in a property 5 to
Absolutely.
7 years in order to
Right.
get your investment back.
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
case now in Florida.
Well, cool.
I agree.
Anybody listening, especially a lot of people here in Chicago, if you're interested, get a hold of one of the three of us. We could help you get some information on a second home or move to Florida. I had the first time this year a reverse relocation, Chicago to Florida. I'm like, craziness where they're at, out of Florida back to Chicago. I'm like, who moves from Florida to Chicago? I'm like, it's usually,
We've had a few,
I've had a few.
people, weather
yeah.
things scare people, and then also they miss family.
Mine was an older man who his wife was ill and he had to, they were here, moved to Florida. Now they're selling in Florida and coming back here.
So it could happen.
So it could happen. I mean, he
I don't know
didn't
if they're
want
going to do it in January, but
Yeah, that would be a little rough, but
it is hard.
I could see him doing it in August. I don't know about January.
Ugh.
All right. Anyway, let's talk about this firm. You guys got a lot going on. It's kind of cool. Tell everybody about your business, your brokerage, your firm. What kind of makes you different and sets you apart? Fill us in. What's going on over there? Name and a little bit of the background on what you're doing.
Yeah, fill us in, Colleen.
oh, I was gonna let you talk. Kim.
Yay.
So we are the Forward Group, and we're with a national cloud-based firm called Real Broker. So
Okay.
it allows us to do business in as many states as we'd like. We have to be licensed in those states, but we can affiliate and bring on agents in any of the states. It just gave us more flexibility and freedom to help more clients to do what we want. And there's no fat middle franchisor in the middle,
Yep.
so that we can pass those savings on to our clients as well. So it just made us more competitive, I think. It's a great, very forward thinking, a lot of video, a lot of technology. They've got some great fintech with our Real Wallet, just some of the ability to be able to move on our feet. And I think the way that business is done now is so different than it was. I've been around 25 years in this business. And I think about when we first started writing contracts, I remember we couldn't even email listings. We had to print them out, mail them
I
out to
remember
people.
those days. Yeah.
I mean, so the industry as a whole has evolved. And I think that there's a few cloud-based companies out there. We still have physical space for our group, and some of the other groups around here do as well, because I still feel there's that value in getting elbow to elbow with people, but it just makes us so much more what's the word I'm looking for, Kim?
Competitive.
I think competitive.
Flexible.
I
Flexible
think it allows us to meet our clients where they are with their needs.
Sure.
And so whether it's an older client that wants us to still do things on pen and paper, or if it's a younger client that is relocating, or, I look at my kids, right? So we both got adult children, and how they do business. Now my son is looking for a place in the city, and I'm thinking about the way that he's searching and the way that he finds things and the information he sends me. And I'm grateful that I have those resources and that I've learned to be able to do that with the company that we're at.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. And you're not that old.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Some days I feel it.
All right. But I think it's cool. And I think everybody should take a look at what you're doing. To kind of bring this all together, you both have been doing it a long time. You've both had quite a few successes. I know that in your career. And success can happen through a couple ways, they say, especially when it comes to sales and business. It could be hard work. It could be timing and a little bit of luck every so often. So why don't we start with Kim? Kim, you've had a great career. I've watched you grow in the biz. Based on success, and I mentioned those three things that usually play into it, what are your thoughts on, when you look back to your career, hard work, timing, and a little bit of luck? What has helped you get to where you're at today?
I think it's all of those. I think it's definitely hard work. I mean, I come in every day, or just about every day, and I think I was taught something early on. Follow up is that's where your money is, and I've become, um, you know, just I do very well with follow up. I think too a lot. It's who you surround yourself with, Todd, too, has a lot to do with it. I've always surrounded myself with learning based people, and you could agree. So I feel like you always have to grow and learn in this business. When ego gets in the way, you're done. And I think a lot of the people in the business have been doing it for this long. This is what I do. I do 20 million and I'm done. Well, no, I don't think it works that way. I think for me, it's always learning and who you surround yourself with. You have to have a team of good people, really.
That thing about surround yourself, there's one thing I heard like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. If you want to know the success of your pipeline or what it's going to look like, look at who you spend your time with.
What do they say? The 5 top, you become the 5 people that you hang around with the most, or what is the saying,
That's
Colleen?
exactly right.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. Wouldn't you agree?
And I think you're incredibly humble too, because you don't give yourself enough credit for it. I don't know an agent that works as hard as you do, but that's not to say that you don't have work-life balance. Like, you have fun and you do the thing. But I think what I see is agents get into this business and they think it's going to be easy right out of the gate. They don't realize the hours that we put in on the front end. They're not willing to do the hard things that it takes to be successful, meaning like coming in, calling people, following up with people, all the open houses every weekend, all the things, between the two of us, let's see, 20, 30, 40 years in the business combined between the two of us, and we're still doing open houses every weekend.
You bet.
So I would say that, like, you're incredibly humble, Kim. You don't give yourself enough credit. The other thing that I see, can I toot her horn for a little bit here?
Absolutely.
That she does really well is she is incredible with relationships with people. I called you the other day. I was like, hey, and she texted me. She goes, I'll call you back. The auto text. Call you back. Can't talk now. And then she calls me back. She's like, I'm at breakfast with a client. And I'm like, oh, literally almost every week or something, you're either lunch with a client, shopping with a client, doing something with a past client. Like, you build relationships incredibly well with people. It was so funny. You're like, I was with that lady. I'm like, oh, so-and-so.
So the farmers, was at the farmer's market and breakfast with Darlene.
Yeah. So I think that those are key things, that this is not just a transactional business. This is a relational business. And I think that you have to put in the hours. So when you said hard work, hard work is important. And it's also not just working on busy stuff, but it's working on the right stuff and spending time in front of people.
That's true.
Even though, like, you see all these people are like on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and we do all of that. Don't get me wrong. You still have to get face to face with people or on the phone with people.
And you still have to have that, like you said, you still have to build that relationship, because this still, I don't care what anybody says, this is a relationship based business. I mean, the more I get into it, the more it's referrals, which is nice, because I'm not, don't get me wrong, I grind every day, but it's not as hard as when the first 5 years I was doing it. And Todd, I think we've known each other since at the beginning. I came in probably a couple years after. It was a grind. It was on the phones every day, and events. I remember doing a ton of events, like it's, I'm still grinding, but it's a different grind.
I always say the work you put on in the front end buys you the freedom and the time in the back end.
Absolutely.
So by establishing your hard work and your work ethic at the get-go, building habits, building systems, and follow-up, I would say. And you said follow-up, but like being relentless with follow-up.
You're worse than I am.
I'm obsessive about follow-up. I'm like, they're filing a restraining order against me.
That's a good word. It's obsessive.
Because, let's face it, people aren't like sitting around thinking like, oh, I wonder what my realtor's up to today, So we have to stay front of mind so that when they're ready, we're there for them. And
Right.
I think the other thing is caring about the person more than the transaction.
Yep.
You are incredible at this.
Mhm.
I like to think I'm good at it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My husband works with me and he's talked people out of more houses than he's talked them into because he cares so much about making sure that they get a good solid home and it's going to be a good purchase for them and
Right.
their family and their future. And you know what? I'm just going to add one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm like over talking.
No.
But I think about young people that we are bringing on into our team and our group
Yep.
and our company. And the ones that are having a lot of success
You bet they are.
the ones that are doing those same exact things. And I just love pouring into them and teaching them those things and like being there for like when they have this question of this scenario or that scenario, but they're building the relationships. I think about like Katie going over there and doing the things for the estate sale for the guy and helping him or
You bet.
driving the guy to the bank so that he can get his wire. Like they're learning that the relationships matter and that they're putting in the work and doing the things.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are going to be the successful agents of the future, I believe.
Yeah, there has been a shift with technology and social media in the industry, but you guys are right on track with saying that it's relationships because guess what? When it's all done, I don't care if they're 25 or 45, people buy from people. They might see you on social network or social media. They might find you somehow, some way, shape, or form. There's 50 ways to find us now. But guess what? After this interview, who wouldn't hire either one of you to help them buy or sell? Because you're people. You're going to listen. You're going to help them. You're going to do things that a website can't do by uncovering the needs and looking out for their best interests. And I think you both hear it like I do. I went on the internet. I saw this. Oh, okay, well, that part of that is true. But let's dive into the whole story. And you're hiring a licensed professional with experience for a reason to guide you through one of the biggest things you're going to do in your life. So the people thing and relationship is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And Colleen, the fact you're taking time training the young people on the importance of that versus just a click and a text.
Yep.
Tim, you're amazing at getting back to people. When I go to invite people to do this, I might not hear from them for days. You were like, in 3 minutes, yeah, how do we do this? It's like, I mean, like sometimes I'll get a call and I'll answer my phone. And the real estate agent, I've heard it a couple times. Wow, you answered your phone. What do you mean, wow? Well, usually I have to leave a message and I hear back in a day or so. If I didn't answer my phone, I wouldn't make a living. And people expect that in today's world. If we don't answer the phone or we don't get back to people right away, they're going to go somewhere else. There's other choices.
Great.
100%. And I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Yep.
We have a couple of lead sources that our agents are required to answer within 90 seconds or they don't get the lead. It goes to the next agent.
Love
so we
it.
have for our team. And so, but that's important because if you think about it from a consumer standpoint, our consumers, don't they expect immediate gratification? Like if you're calling someone, if you had 3 numbers of 3 painters to call and you call one and they don't answer and then you call the next one.
Go down. Yeah.
And then whichever one's the first. I mean, I remember I sent to a client 3 home inspectors because I try to send out a couple.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, how'd you choose that one? He's the only one that answered the phone.
Crazy.
Right?
I'm like, okay, well, that makes a difference.
But you know, go ahead.
Whether you're buying a house or a pizza, you call the pizza guy, he answers the phone. You're buying a house. We're not going to Joel for a loaf of bread. How do you not answer the phone on a $500,000 deal? It blows my mind.
Largest transaction someone will ever make in a lifetime for most people, and you can't even pick up the phone. That's shameless.
That's why I am the way I am, because I think, Jesus, this is the largest financial decision purchase you're ever going to make. And if I was a one and done and was like, whatever, why would you refer me to somebody? Like, I want you to refer me. I want you to say, Kim was great. She was there. She walked me through it. She spent time with me. And because I would want somebody to do that for me.
The only reason we should not answer our phone is because we're spending time with someone else at that moment and we're giving them all of our attention. Besides that, how do you not respond to somebody who wants to buy, sell, or finance real estate? It blows my mind. And like when I get into a deal and we're in the middle of one and I can't get a hold of the broker, they won't call me back. I want to shoot myself. It's like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Where the hell are you? We're talking about a $500,000 deal. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but you know what's funny? The people don't answer the phone. Technology now shows the number of deals we all do. The person that doesn't answer the phone, I'm sure they're not even close to you guys when it comes to deals.
Right.
So everything's relative.
I would agree.
Yeah.
With that.
So on that note, I'm sure all of our phones are going off right now. We got to get back to people. So I'm going to try to bring this all together for people who are watching and listening. These two ladies have been doing it for a long time. I'm not here doing a commercial for them. There's no incentive. They didn't pay me. But I will tell you this, I've known both of them for a long time. And if you're looking to buy or sell in Illinois or Florida, and Colleen also has Indiana, I will have their contact information listed at the bottom. You can reach out to them, whether it be an inquiry, a call, or just something in general about real estate. But to wrap it up, let's start with Kim. Kim, what are your thoughts for the future? What do you got planned for, or what do you see real estate the rest of this year into next year? What are your thoughts and why people should maybe think about buying or selling?
I don't know, Todd. I think there's going to be life events happens. People are always going to need to buy and sell. I think we'll close out the year with what do you think we'll do this year?
In terms of number of transactions?
Yeah.
I think we'll hit about 175.
That's
for us-
amazing.
For our, yeah.
For our group.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I personally don't see the real estate market. I think it's going to be steady. I think it's going to be good. We're licensed full-time agents. So for our group, I don't see it going down or going away. If not, we're just going to keep going up.
Well, and I think, every single person's situation is unique to them. So having a consultation with someone like you, Todd, who can give the good financial advice, and someone like us, where we can look at the situation of what is your house going to sell for, where you're going to be able to move to,
What do you
is
need?
this, is it a neighborhood important for schools or for taxes? Like looking at all those things, I think everyone's situation is so specific and so unique. It's important to not look at the market as a generalization or as a whole, and look at your situation and what makes the most sense for you. And when you have people that have as much experience as we do and care about their clients as much as all of us do, you can't go wrong, because we're going to say now's not the time to sell. Stay right where you are, ride it out, do this, or rent it out, or tough it out another year or there, or whatever, because we want them to make good long-term decisions for themselves and their family and what makes sense for them. So I think that will guide what happens into the future. Markets are going to go up and down. Markets are going to be crazy and not crazy. And sometimes you can ride that, but ultimately buying or selling real estate is a very personalized decision.
Sure.
And I think that because we've made it part of the core of what we do to be so personalized and to be really consultants and guidance in that, that's what's kept us in this business for as long as we have. And do you mind if I give a little shout out to our podcast that we have? Because Kim had this great idea. Do you have a second for us to talk about that, Todd? Did we lose you? Okay.
What happened there? Does he end at 11? Does it?
I'm not going to believe this.
What happened?
Your connection fell out. It disconnected you.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, is that the internet?
Well, we're still on because you're there.
We are, but
That
guess
was just
what?
for a second, though, Todd, wasn't it?
But guess what? We lost that whole recording.
You're kidding me.
No.
Are you fucking kidding?
That's kind of what I said when. Oh, God. And we were cruising along good there.
We were doing well.
I really liked it. Fuck.
All right. I got an idea. You guys are amazing. You're by far the best I've ever done this with. Let's consider that a trial or like a practice round. why don't we look at our schedules and do this again and make sure we got everything set up and we don't lose it? How's that? Because this
Let's
is too,
do it.
because, you know, we can,
That's a good one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it's great.
because I'll tell you right now, I put it up on YouTube and Spotify. If people click on this, because they'll do Real Estate Chicago and they start listening to us, they're going to listen to this. So if I ready for this off the record, because we're not being recorded right now, if it was shared, I wouldn't do it. But this is too good. We're doing too good. So
Great one, Todd.
Yeah.
okay. So did you mention that Friday could work for the two of you?
Friday,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fine.
Frank's coming in at though. Frank will be here at 10, so maybe 11. Can you do? Or
Yes.
do you-
Whatever time. it
I'm
doesn't matter to me,
open Friday, too.
Except we just have a meeting at 10 with,
Yeah.
with an agent.
You want to do it
Wants to-
11?
Yeah, that's 11's fine.
All right, I'll send the invite to both of you. We already
We
know
already
what we
Have
got to
the
do.
technology figured out this time, so we're good to go on that.
Maybe we can get
Right.
our thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna order the new part, practice it before then.
All right.
Who's smart?
Any
That's sweet.
changes to what we were to be
Oh.
ready for Friday? Would there be any changes you'd want to do in the interview than what we were doing?
No,
I don't
I
think
thought
so.
it went wow. I thought it was good.
No, it was natural.
Yeah, it
Natural
was.
good.
It's a conversation, right? That's what people don't want something pre-programmed with bullet points. They want to hear us talk about life and just, you know, I hate to use the word winging it. Let's just talk about what's going on in real estate and why you guys. So I thought it was good.
I
And
did too, Todd. I was pissed.
I,
we
I,
lost.
I couldn't believe it. We were almost done and we lost it. I'm like, are you
Fuck.
kidding me?
But was that our connection, Kyle?
I mean, somebody's connection. I don't know. Who knows?
Motherfucker.
Right. Don't worry, we're good. All right.
Friday at
You-
11.
Friday at 11, I'll send the invite. We'll knock it out. And what did you say you have to buy? What are you buying?
So the little connector thing that, because I'm so technologically verbose, the little piece that connects our mics and our headphones, the mics are working, but the headphones aren't working. So we couldn't hear
yeah.
like with our usual setup. So
Okay.
and in the last time, which wasn't a big deal because we didn't have to hear ourselves, but when we have someone like you on the other side, we have to be able to hear what you're telling us. So I think it might have just fried. I tried resetting it to factory reset. I'm just going to order a new one. It's not that big of a deal.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
if not, we'll just do it like this where we don't have the headphones. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. You know
Yeah,
what?
we figured out the alternative.
Yeah, at least we know that. At least we know
that
this will
backup
work. Yeah.
setup,
Like
yeah.
this will work.
Okay. All right. Then I'll send the invite Friday at 11. We'll do the same thing. We'll probably go faster and easier since we just did our practice round, and we'll knock it out on Friday. And then I'll put it all together and get it up on Spotify and on YouTube. Then I'll send you guys the link and you can do whatever you want with it also to share it as well and save it.
Perfect.
That would
Cool.
be great.
Yeah.
Where's your guys' office at?
New Lenox.
Nice. Cool.
Where are you at?
I'm in Oak Brook.
Every finance person is
It's in Oak Brook. It's so weird. Or at least
Yeah.
their offices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still live in Palos, Kim. I live 2
Oh, so
blocks
you're
where I
still
grew up. Yep. I live in
Nice.
Estrella, so didn't go far.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
In the office every day, Todd?
I am. Yep. Go to work. I'm one of those people like to get up early and go to work. So, you know,
Yeah, I hear you.
Same.
Yeah.
yeah. You guys are amazing. Thank you
thanks.
for today. And then we'll have a really nice polished version. We'll do it on Friday, and I'm sure we'll fly right through it. So
Yeah, if you send me the links afterwards, I'll put it up on our podcast site too, so we can put it up on there.
love it. Is your podcast on your website?
It's not on our real estate website in general. It's on both of our link trees that has the
Okay.
links to everything. And our new virtual assistant, I don't say new, we've had her for a while,
Yeah.
but she's been working on a whole site for it that has like info about us and then the all the episodes and
If you go to kimnealrealestate.com, it's my link tree. And I think isn't there a link for our podcast?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out too between now and Friday.
And even if we go on our Facebooks and stuff, I think it's all
Yeah.
up there too.
Cool.
But we can host because I don't know who you use to host, but I use Buzzsprout to host ours. So it'll feed it to everything so we can put it on ours too.
Yeah, I throw this on YouTube and Spotify. Spotify is where you get the people. That's where a lot of people go for the podcast. So make sure it's being shared up there for you.
I think our Buzzsprouts feeds us to Amazon, Apple, Spotify, iHeart,
YouTube.
I have to do YouTube separately. It won't let
Oh,
me.
do you?
It doesn't feed to that. Like the audio only goes to the one, and then the other one goes YouTube. It does that way. But yeah, I learned more about it than I would ever care to learn, just because I have to know how to do things, because that's the way my brain works.
I'll end this, since you guys are doing this on your own. Probably one of the best ones I've listened to, if you haven't already. Guy Raz from NPR Radio. He does a podcast called How I Built This. Have you listened to that one yet?
It's great.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
It's like addicting. It's like you listen to one, and you're like, I can't wait to get in the car and do another one. He's just, and the people he interviews, it would be great. You know, that's what I was trying to do here with you guys. It's all about you guys. It has nothing to do with me. And people want to hear what you're doing and how you do it. And he does a great job of pulling that out, even like a Michael Dell or that lady that invented Spanx, and, you know, Debbie Fields, and all these cool people that had ideas that had the ups and downs, didn't have a dollar to their name. And a lot of them did it with passion, and then the money followed. You'll hear that through a lot of them. Like, not a lot of them like said, I have this idea to become a millionaire. They had a passion. Something in their life created them to do something. Like something went wrong and they said that needs to get fixed. So they went out and made it, or came up with an idea, and then they had a passion that they stuck with. And guess what? Then it turned into money down the road. So, but yeah, cool. All right. Well, thanks. And if you need anything, let me know. If not, I will talk and see you Friday at 11. How's that?
Sounds
like
good,
a
Todd.
plan.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks,
you,
you
bye-bye.
too.
See you later. Bye.